Hello and welcome to Fire Walk with Us, a Twin Peaks podcast. I'm Paul.
I'm Dave.
And Justin.
This week we're talking about Twin Peaks, The Return, Part 10. So in this episode...
Richard's a dick.
Oh, dear goodness, is he ever.
Yeah, he's a bit psychotic, I would say. A sociopath.
Richard Horne confronts Miriam, a teacher who witnessed his hit and run. She tells him that she has written to the sheriff. He attacks her and leaves her for dead in her trailer. Then has Deputy Chad intercept the letter. The Mitchums see a news story about Ike's arrest and recognize Cooper as Mr. Jackpots. Janie E. notices that her husband's physique has improved and has sex with him. Nadine Hurley watches Jacoby's latest broadcast from her drapery store.
Shovel yourself out of the shit.
Exactly. Richard attacks his grandmother Sylvia in her home and robs her. She calls Ben and demands more money from him. Todd orders Anthony Sinclair to frame Dougie for the denial of the arson insurance claim that lost the Mitchums $30 million. Gordon has a vision of Laura.
Yeah, that was a bit weird.
Albert informs him that the FBI has intercepted a text message from Diane informing someone of Hastings' arrest. Tammy shows them a photo that links Cooper's doppelganger to the glass box in New York. And finally, Hawk receives another phone call from the log lady who tells him Laura is the one. Dun dun dun.
That and several other things, like the circle is nearly complete.
Yes, and something about it'll all flood through like a river or something. I don't remember exactly what the
I believe so.
phrasing was.
Yeah.
So, David, your favorite character or moment in this episode?
What about Johnny?
Yeah, no.
Hello, Johnny.
Hello, Johnny.
I think I just might have to give it to Dougie, just with the silly, ridiculous moments that kind of happened. But
The most unenthusiastic sex I've ever seen.
Dougie's face is priceless. He's just...
I don't even know what she found attractive about him other than probably his,
physique,
I guess.
I mean, if you compare it to what we saw from Dougie previously,
it's a bit of an improvement.
marginally, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, wow, he's really in good shape. I better test drive this.
Because he lost, what, like 40 pounds since his last appointment or something? Like, it was a significant amount of weight and stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That and she's probably still a little bit sour with him going out with the other women.
Well, I don't think she knows... Well, no, yeah, she did find out about Jade. Jade
Yeah.
gave 2 rides.
No.
Justin, did you have a favorite character or moment in this episode? And if you say yes again, I swear I'll punch you in the throat.
No.
You know I'll do it.
It's like, what if I didn't have a favorite part? I don't know.
But sadly, this episode was filled more with a couple more of, God damn it, this guy's a dick.
Oh, Richard. Yes.
Well, Richard, but also Chad, and I'm just like,
yeah.
God damn it, Chad.
How they seem to be, kind of working together in a way.
And honestly, it kind of makes sense with Chad, because he's just that sleazy little guy that will do anything to not deal with any sort of bad stuff that happens. So as soon as the bad guy comes along, he's just like, oh, okay, I'll follow along, do what you say, I don't want to bother with that
Lucy
business.
kind of noticed that something was up.
Hopefully Lucy will do something about it.
Maybe.
I have tremendous faith in her.
Chad's also getting paid off by Richard. So he does have a monetary reason to...
Still, he on my shit list.
Well, fair enough. He's a shitty person.
Yeah, I mean, Richard also went up to his grandma's and basically assaulted her.
Yeah. Yeah.
And stole all her stuff.
All the money. And then she calls Ben to demand more money. He's like, oh, fuck no.
Yeah, exactly. And then she's like, I'm going to get my lawyer. It's like, what's that going to do?
And that pushed him to ask the secretary to see if she wanted dinner.
We find out that, yes, Albert informs Gordon that the FBI intercepted that text message from Diane. And that Diane had received a text from Cooper's doppelganger. What do we think is going to come of that?
doppelganger has a whole lot of connections to a whole lot of people, so he kind of a crazy mastermind as it sits.
Okay. Justin, any ideas?
He wants somebody dead.
I'm sure he does.
If he wanted his way, he'd want everybody dead.
Oh, maybe.
Well, not everybody.
Dude, it's Bob.
We also find out that Nadine has a drapery store,
Yes.
which just seems fitting.
And she seems to have the hots for Jacoby.
Well, at least she's watching his broadcasts.
Yeah, well, she's like, oh, he's so hot or whatever. It's like, okay.
It's pretty great.
Wasn't it the case that she got divorced?
That was 25 years prior to this.
No,
But,
that divorce wouldn't legally hold up because...
Really?
No, because she wasn't of her right mind at the time. So they could have got divorced in the intervening years, but legally that wouldn't have worked out at the time.
Either way, it's hard
We'd
to
still
say.
probably need to wait for some information to see if that was the case.
It's hard to say for sure at this point because we've only seen Nadine like in a few shots and she hasn't really had
It's
much
mostly
time to
just
shine.
been this episode that we've gotten a bit more information with the drapery store. We'd still need to have at least an episode to get some more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Mitchums find out that Dougie is allegedly responsible for them not getting their $30 million insurance payout.
And of course, the one particular person that told them that was the same one that Dougie said that lied about all of his info.
Yes, Anthony Sinclair.
Mm-hmm.
So where do we think that's going to head to?
Oh boy, it's gonna lead into a whole bunch of shit, and hopefully Anthony will get caught up in that shit and get his comeuppance for doing it.
Seems like Dougie's gonna have a whole lot of hitmen on his ass, although however he handled the spike.
Mr. Ike.
Ike the spike.
Like this
I'm
one.
pretty sure Dougie will be fine.
Let me just tell you how this is going to, what it's going to lead to. It's going to lead to some good old-fashioned cherry pie.
Well, I hope so.
In the one sense or the other sense?
You will find out in a little while.
Because one would be interesting, though completely unsensical, which quite honestly for Twin Peaks would make sense. But the other one is just a little...
Maybe Cherry Pie
So-
will awaken his senses and become Cooper now.
Has he had cherry pie since being Dougie?
No, but he has had coffee.
Yes.
No, that definitely was good. That's interesting. Is that going to be the case this time? Or are we going to have to go to my other supposed method of him taking a utensil and shoving it into electrical outlets? Remember, do not have kids watch this show.
So at the end of the episode, Hawk receives a call from the log lady who tells him Laura is the one, amongst a bunch of other things.
Yes.
What do you think that means?
Well, I think episode 8 kind of best emphasized that sort of thing, that Laura still kind of has stakes within this.
Yeah.
Seemingly. I mean, even Gordon had a vision of Laura Palmer, even though I don't think he's ever seen her.
No.
Yeah.
He would have only seen, like, photographs and stuff like that.
Yeah. It was just kind of bizarre.
Yeah. Well, maybe something will come of it. Maybe it
Nah, no. It's just nothing.
won't. You can never tell with David Lynch.
Yeah, no. Most likely it's got to be either the A thing, the B thing, or the absolutely nonsensical
Or the
thing.
thing that, he didn't even question it with Albert when he came in. He just kind of accepted it. And just didn't discuss about it.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, is that just the theme with whatever random shit happens?
Oh man,
Find
all
out.
this crazy random shit happens. Oh well, probably was nothing. Hey guys, how you
Oh,
doing?
there was a girl screaming when I opened my door. And,
Oh, hi Albert.
Hi, Albert. How you doing?
Guess we'll find out eventually, maybe.
Hopefully.
Who knows?
Ugh.
Anyway, in this episode, we get one of my favorite moments, personally, from the episode, is where we see Albert having dinner with, what's her
The one woman that
Yeah,
was
I
in
can't
the
think of her
morgue.
Diane?
No,
No.
in the morgue. The lady
the
that showed them the
morgue.
body.
Yeah.
You had some interesting one-liners this episode.
After the response from the particular joke and whatnot, it's like, aw, there's a supposed romance between them. And then when it actually moved on to dinner, it's like, aw, they're actually building up for the story. How long is it before they absolutely ruin it? Oh well, I guess we'll find out.
I love Gordon just being a creeper standing there watching them too. Like, that's really funny.
It's just like, girl, check this out.
It's great. Anyway.
There's no smoking in the morgue.
Who cares? It's a fucking morgue.
So do either of you have any last minute thoughts to add?
No, as it is, just a particular theory that I'll have to kind of mingle around in my head to see if it holds any sort of stake, or if it's just kind of, I want an answer to something, but this show isn't supplying it.
It doesn't supply answers. It supplies questions. A whole lot of questions. And it doesn't like answering them.
But at least it leaves you with interesting questions.
What the fuck is the show?
Maybe you'll get an answer to that.
Is it really his foot that was talking the other episode?
Or was it just
he
the marijuana?
hallucination?
He was in
Who
the
knows?
woods for quite some time, and the woods can be dangerous.
He's also a pothead. So he could have just been high.
I suppose.
Like, that's a pretty reasonable assumption.
Before I forget, that musical interlude with the guy who was in the trailer park was definitely nice. It's sad that it had to be interrupted by those two lovebirds having a little bit of a spat.
Oh yeah, is that another theme in this show? Every boyfriend is a jerk?
Well, I think it's more so of a case of any particular person that works at the diner goes out with crazy people.
Okay, all the girls like abusive relationships.
No, James wasn't that bad.
Well,
James wasn't.
no.
Well, I suppose she
Not
was
as-
there. But it's more specifically with Shelley and her daughter. Where
Yeah.
she went with Leo and also went with Bobby, which at the time was kind of...
Bobby was never that bad. Anyway,
Bobby was semi-tolerable.
Bobby was...
He was a stupid, immature teenager.
Yeah, because he was a teenager.
Exactly.
A stupid, immature teenager.
You've just defined teenagers.
And it doesn't define me.
You're also not a teenager, you jackass.
I know, but it didn't define me then either.
Yeah, okay. Think that to yourself. Anyway, that's going to wrap up this episode. I'm Paul.
I'm Dave.
Now, Justin.